would now like to introduce Nikki Kieffer, a senior two-sport athlete of Utica hockey and women's hockey teams. Nikki will give the keynote remarks on behalf of the graduating seniors.
Good evening, athletes, parents, coaches, administration, and honored guests. I'd like to start by congratulating my fellow seniors on graduating in just 4 short days. However, I also want to congratulate our parents and our coaches on helping us get this far. We owe you a lot. And last but certainly not least, a special congratulations to Mr. Gaetano, Miss Adrians, and Mr. Owen on all of your accomplishments and being inducted into the Pioneer Hall of Fame tonight. It is truly an honor to be sitting among some of the great people who have contributed greatly to our athletic program. Back in January, I was asked by Dave Fontaine if delivering this speech was something I'd be interested in doing. Right away, without any thought, I said yes. I was so proud, humbled, and excited to have been given this opportunity, yet very nervous. Right away, I thought 2 things. First, how do I sum up 4 years, 8 sports seasons, and 2 teams into an 8-minute speech, let alone sum it up for the rest of my senior class? And second, where do I find my inspiration? If you ask my field hockey team, they'll tell you I'm known for giving some real tearjerkers, so I have a little bit of a standard to live up to. Instantly, I looked to my friends for inspiration and heightened my awareness of everything that was happening around me and the people that I came into contact with. I have to tell you that I've rewritten this speech about 5 times in the last 5 months, and each time I thought I was done with it, I witnessed something like the immense passion some of you have for your sport or your team, or how excited some fans in the stands get when their friends get into a game or even score a goal. These things made me want to expand on some points I had made, or even take an entirely new angle. There are many times when I contemplated starting from scratch, but each time my roommates gave me that look like I'm going crazy and should just make subtle changes. So not only do I have to thank them for constantly listening to me when I said, I changed this part, do you want to hear it? Even though I knew they probably didn't want to. But I also have to thank all of you for being the ones who sparked my inspiration. When you come to college, you're given the opportunity to either grow as a person or remake yourself. You also have the opportunity to create bonds and friendships with new people. And being a part of athletics has given us the opportunity to have a new family. There is no stronger bond than the friendships you make with your teammates, to the point where I don't even like to call them friendships because they're much stronger than that. It's a sisterhood and a brotherhood. Unlike the teams that you've had in the past, in college you learn about each other's pasts, live in each other's presence, and become part of each other's futures. Generally, when you're on a team, or 2 like most of us, you don't really have time to spend with any non-athletes. And if you're a winter sport athlete, you sacrifice Thanksgiving and almost your entire winter break to be with your second family. These are the times we learn the most about one another, because if your teams are like my hockey team, you actually spend every waking second with each other. So you can only imagine what happens when you put 20-something, 18 to 22-year-old females together for an extended period of time. During hockey season, there was a conversation going on within my team about myself and some other people on my team, about our hockey styles when we were growing up. The chirps were flying left and right about the equipment we were playing in, the make, the model, the color, anything they could call us out on, they were. Being from Rome, New York, a very blue-collar, work-for-your-money kind of place, I grew up with parents who embodied what our little city was all about. I didn't have the top-of-the-line stuff when I came out, or knew anything for the most part. Some years I was lucky to even be playing hockey altogether. But I didn't complain, and now looking back, I'm glad this is how I was brought up. It taught me a lot of lessons that other, more privileged kids may have missed out on. So thank you, Mom and Dad. This conversation made me very aware of all the different types of people on my team and at this school. I realized that we each come from a very different and unique situation back at home. Some with lots of money, some trying to make ends meet. Some with 2 parents in a very healthy relationship, and some who have lost either their mom or their dad. But we're all here for the same reason. When it comes down to it, we grow up a little bit. We see the bigger picture and put aside all those differences and realize it's no longer about us as individuals. It's evident that as the class of 2015, we have something special about us as a whole. Look around you. You're sitting amongst record breakers, champions, and All-Americans. As individuals and as teams, we've reached new heights and really made our school and athletic department proud. There's a song called Tattoos on This Town by Jason Aldean, and every time I hear it, I think of this place and all of you. I feel like it perfectly describes the relationship we have with both this school and the athletic department. In the song, he says, "It sure left its mark on us, we sure left our mark on it. We let the world know we were here with everything we did." And that's exactly what we've done. We've made it clear we were here to compete. We were competitors to be feared by our opponents. This right here, being at Utica and being a pioneer, this will never leave you. It will forever be a part of you because you've now left your mark. But as we get older, we'll realize it's not about what we did for the school, rather than what the school has done for us, what being a part of this group has taught us. I guess you could say that every game, every match, and every meet is life on a smaller scale. Your team is your family, your opponents are the people trying to bring you down. Your coaches are comparable to your boss at your job, and every penalty, error, false start, or foul are the bumps in the road during your journey. Games teach you that not everything is going to go your way. Every time your opponent, or now in our case life, knocks you down, you have to get back up and keep running, skating, swinging, and shooting. But even in those circumstances when you get knocked down, you know you have someone there to pick you back up. I know that when I'm not playing my best, I can always count on my teammates to fall back on with open arms and advice. This is something we can all relate to, right? Every team is that person who will always be in your corner, fighting for you and working with you. That's the best part about these bonds that we've made. Former Boston University basketball All-American and Olympian, Deborah Miller-Palmore, summed it up perfectly. She said, "Even when you played the game of your life, it's the feeling of teamwork you'll remember. You'll forget the plays, the shots, and the scores, but you'll never forget your teammates." Along this journey, I've had the pleasure of watching many of you expand your horizons and push your limits to grow into some pretty amazing people. In return, I myself have grown into someone I am proud of because of all of you and everything that you have all taught me. Being on these teams and being a part of this athletic department has taught us we have no limits. Think about it. And how many Brian Martinez workouts did you want to drop down? Congrats on making it work. My field hockey team, after that 31st 100-yard sprint, that one awful day at practice, how many of us were on the ground, gasping for air and praying for the feeling to come back in our legs? But we got up and ran number 32. The swim and polo teams. A little birdie told me that some of you actually pretend to drown at practice because it's so daunting. But I won't name any names, right, Madison? I mean, I don't blame you. I don't understand how you can tread water for so long anyways. My point is, we've all had those practices and games that have pushed us to and beyond our limits, but we didn't quit. We stood shoulder to shoulder, pushing each other beyond what we thought we were capable of. So to go back to my reference about life on a smaller scale, we've been fortunate enough to have a sort of pre-test to the real world. We've learned to mesh with different types of people and somehow make it work. We've tasted success and sat at the bottom. We've learned what it takes to pick ourselves back up and get back on track to our goals. Being on these teams have taught us all that. Take a second to think about all the other things that you've learned outside of the classroom during your time here. And I don't mean how to run away from Campo or what the fastest route back to your house from Barrett Street is. For me, and I hope for most of you, this has been the biggest lesson. Each of our sports, although very different, has taught us the same thing. It's like in hockey when you're blocking a shot, or when a lacrosse goalie goes to make a save, or a lineman setting a block, or even an infielder fielding a ground ball. Each has taught us to front the shot, front the ball, front the man, and face it head on. Always face forward, anticipating, ready, and willing to sacrifice for what is coming your way. To close, I'd like to leave you with a challenge, because I know all of your competitive spirits will never go away. I challenge you to continue to front everything life throws at you and never shy away from it. Take advantage of everything that comes your way, and remember that even when you think you're alone and you're about to face something nerve-wracking or even scary, you will forever have this family in this room right now to support you. Thank you and congratulations.